More and more agents are coming in, and it's just a very, very highly competitive business. But if you have the skills, you have the right mindset, and you're going to outwork your competition, you can make a ton of money in this business, a ton.
How do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hiban, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. Okay, Rockstar Nation, I am bringing back one of our top 10 interviews today, Mr. Jeff Quintin from the Jersey Shore. And Jeff has been killing it for years out there. And he's created this really cool thing called the top 3 chromosomes of DNA needed for an agent clone. And we're going to dive into that and see what that's all about. And I can't wait. So without further ado, Jeff, welcome to Pat Hiban Interviews Real Estate Rockstars.
Oh, hey, Pat, thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate it and honored to be here.
So just so the audience can get to know you better real quick, like how many units have you sold in the last 12 months, Jeff?
In the last 12 months, we tracked in 165, 175 in that range. And then typically we've been around anywhere between 175 or so annually per year for quite a bit of time. We've gotten as much as 220 at one time, and but right now we're typically 15 a month is about the average.
And then what's your volume on that?
Out of 165, 170 deals closed will be somewhere around 70 million.
So 70 million, and what's your GCI on that?
So last year, GCI and so forth, and those numbers, it's going to be just around, I'm going to say about $1.9 million, $1.95 million in that range.
All right, cool. So almost $2 million. And what's your profit margin on the two?
After, and again, this is always a great question on the show. So after we take all the expenses involved, pay the buyer's agents out as far as cost of sales, everything all said and done, it's just about $1 million or so, just sometimes a little above, sometimes a little less. So, I guess that's about 60, whatever that percent would be. If you have a total gross of say $1.9 million, we'll be around, it's about 53% total.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
After all the expenses, after all the buyer agents, after everything.
And, at the end of the day, that whether it's 52, 51, or 71, it doesn't matter because, if you're netting $1 million, that's way more than most agents out there are doing, and everybody listening should be thriving to do. So just to get a clear picture of how you're doing it, where does most of your business come from?
So as far as my business, when we break down and see the all sources, when you take a look at your past clients, center of influence, and referrals from that group, will typically be about 60, 65% of it. And then from there, the additional sources will be from expired listings, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold calls, some development deals I'm involved in, and then the buyer side of the transactions, which will also through, some of the internet lead generation, marketing, Zillow, things like that. We're only talking about, a handful of deals, maybe 10 to 15 transactions, from that internet side. So, most of our sources still is lead generation, prospecting, our database, calling around listings and sales, and then obviously working our past clients and center of influence at a very deep level.
That's awesome. Very solid business. And Jeff is no joke when it comes to being a businessman. He also does flippers, buys and holds. Everything that we preach here, he's doing it. Bill, he just bought a shopping center, right? You just bought a shopping center?
Yeah, it's a 7-unit strip center. And it's pretty exciting. So that's been a new piece in the commercial side. I've got other commercial properties as well, but more storefront, individual retail storefronts. But this is one of the larger ones I've been able to now take down.
And
with very much your help and your podcast and shows help as well.
Now, did you call it Quintin Plaza?
CQJQ, baby. That's what's on the sign, but that's just the initials of my wife and I.
Oh, that's awesome.
But no, it's called Wayside Village, actually.
Wayside
Starting
Village,
existing.
Right.
Yeah.
Rockstar Nation, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. Hey, I hate to interrupt the current podcast that you're listening to, but I am so excited to share this with you. I just finished interviewing the original host of this podcast, my good friend, Pat Hiban. I got to talk to Pat about how he started his real estate career and a whole bunch of tips and tactics that he used to be successful. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go check out State of the Market number 49. On there, I get to talk to Pat about all those different things. And in there too, he talked a lot about his 6 Steps for 7 Figures book and training program that he built over the last couple of years. And I realized I haven't done a good enough job of reminding all of you lately about all of the resources that we've built for you out there. So if you want to check out Pat's course, we've got like a 3-minute summary video when you go to it. It includes so many easy to follow tips that you can follow on it like a day-to-day basis. You get email reminders, all sorts of different things that come with that course. You find that, you go to rebusuniversity.com, REBUS, rebusuniversity.com. Look at courses. You can find the 6 Steps for 7 Figures book. And really, there's a whole bunch of other courses in there too. Our normal prices used to be $1,500 or $2,000 a course. These are real deal professional courses. But now during quarantine, a lot of them are priced down to like $90, $95. So we've slashed the prices because we know right now is a time for everybody to be focusing on growth and education, especially while they're feeling like they don't have as much to do. And if you go in there and you figure like there's a lot of different courses you want, maybe you don't want to buy the a la carte. You can go to futureofrealestatetraining.com and you can get access to all of our different courses for $97 a month. I think there's a discount on there if you go a year, or there's even like a lifetime option that you can pay. You get access to every course we ever put on Rebus University for as long as we have it. So go check out those options, Rebus University or futureofrealestatetraining.com. All right, back to your podcast. Sorry for the interruption.
Awesome. Okay. So, Jeff is a deep dude. I mean, he told me before the show started that, he's been thinking a lot, and he's been kind of thinking and journaling a little bit about, if you were to take a real estate agent, clone them in a science lab, what are the chromosomes? What does that DNA look like that makes the perfect agent if we had to start from fresh? And he came up with basically 3 things if you boil it down. And I love simple stuff. I don't like things that are like 15 things, right? Or character traits. He said, man, there's only 3. So I said, I got to get you on the show, Jeff, and we got to talk about what these 3 things are. So let's start with the first one, Jeff. So when we're building the perfect agent, the agent that's going to make $1 million a year net like you in the science lab, what's the first piece of DNA that we're putting in that person?
Well, I think that the first pillar, first DNA, the first part of it is that we have to understand that today, and I think it always has been, but I think more than ever, it's a skill-based business. The skill set, understanding the skills to be able to be a salesperson, how to present, how to communicate, is so important, more than ever. And when I say about skills, I talk about sometimes more or less the skills of communication, understanding how to say, what to say, when to say, who to talk to, how to talk to it, how often, and ultimately understanding objection handling, just a whole part of the skill level from being able to, rather than making 200 contacts in a week or 50 contacts a day, how do you get it to where you're making 1 contact a day for every, 1 contact, 1 appointment? How do you get your level so good you pick up the phone and you convert that quick? So I think the first part is understanding that what it takes in the skills. And then when I think about skills, there's a lot of different things that breaks down on their skills. It's skills of, pre-qualifying, following up, handling objections, closing skills, scripting, dialogues, all that in just one. So
you gotta. I guess what it would be is the ability to talk effectively.
Correct. Yes, the effective the sales language, understanding that whole part of it. I think that's just critical because I see agents out there today that are working really hard. They've got look, their intention. They get up in the morning. They're doing all the right things. They're hard workers. They show up. They have a great mindset. They're doing their affirmations. They're positive. They show up. And then they just get stuck, or they just don't know how to move themselves, from point A to point B. They don't know who to call, how to call, and what to say. But all the other 2 pieces of the puzzles are there. But this is one piece that they're just lacking, or they just don't understand, or they don't know how to do it and convert.
Okay, so let's tell them how to do it. How do you build somebody who's, let's just say they're fresh off the street, out of college, out of high school, or out of another job arena completely? Never sold anything, never had any, had a desk job or were a student. How do you build them into a salesperson?
Well, I think if you're going to build someone as a salesperson, as far as speaking or the sales talk part of it, just like, I guess you go back to sports, or if you're going to, have a certain skill, whether you're playing football, baseball, whatever it is, hockey, surfing, whatever it may be, you've got to understand that in this business, it takes practice. And I'm not so sure that everybody right now understands that. When you take a look at a skilled football player, you take a look at a skilled anything. Okay, so I'll give you an example. You take someone who, a Tom Cruise. I mean, how much money does Tom Cruise actually earn per film these days? He might be earning $20 million, $25 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no one actually sees, what he's been doing behind the scenes for so many years of the practice of the scripts, the practice of the role plays, just everything he's been doing, all the things he's done all his career. No one gets to see it. No one gets to see the football player practicing 10 hours a day, or the quarterback, when the reality is the quarterback, I think what they say is the quarterback touches the ball a total of 11 minutes per game. 11 minutes. That's the time he actually touches the ball and uses it and actually has that ball, 11 minutes, right?
Mm.
How about no one gets to see the other 60, 70 hours of practice? So, the first thing I would say is understanding what it's going to take and the time you need to put into practice, so that when you show up for showtime and the presentation time, you can nail it, right? So the skill of practice.
So how do you practice? What are some good ways to practice?
Well, when it comes down to having sales talk or sales language and skill of that, some of the practice you're going to do is you need to understand that there's scripts out there that work. Whether you follow one script, another script, whatever it may be, you got to have a script. And you're going to practice those scripts by role-playing. You're going to chant them out loud. You're going to do that a lot in front of a mirror. You're going to write the scripts out. Just like, if we were to ask anybody in the audience or whatever, say, okay, do me a favor, sing right now out loud quickly the ABCs. Well, we could go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We could go right into it quick. Well, we don't even need to think about that. That's a skill of memorization. That's a skill of already knowing what to say when we say alphabet, right? So that's how good I think that an agent needs to get today on knowing what to say, where they don't need to think about it. It's so much already in their system. It's so much already in their subconscious. They just come right out. So to get to that level, you're going to need to role play. You're going to need to write the scripts out. You're going to need to chant them out loud in front of a mirror. And then you're going to be able to, practice by actually doing it. And when you do it over and over again, just like muscle memory, you're going to get good at it. So you got to start somewhere. But you got to learn what to say, and I think that's how you start out with as far as that script is concerned.
Yeah. So, okay. So I love that analogy. So just like you memorized the ABCs when you were 4 years old or whatever, you're memorizing the scripts every day, no matter how long you've been in the business, right? I mean, do you still role play with your team and with yourself?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. There's not a day that goes by. We're not working on either objection handling, a certain script. How do I handle this? We're recording our calls. We're going back, just like a football team would look at the plays or study the other teams or whatever. We're going to study. We're going to role play. We're going to listen back on what we're doing. I've got 2 agents in here today that were plugged in, quartered into my prospecting, and they're coaching me. I'm coaching them on the fly, and that's the skill that it's just being able to do it over and over again. But you got to do it every single day.
So, how do you, with your agents, and how did you, with your mentors over the years, learn this? What are some good tools and some good websites or coaches or what that other people could go to learn scripts or to get scripts?
So, my first major coaching company, coach more or less was from the Mike Ferry organization. And you can certainly go to MikeFerry.com, and on there he's got complimentary downloads of different scripts and look through all of them. And I had a good fortune. This is in the 2000 range. Met Mike's son Matthew and Tom, and those guys are just script rock stars. I'm still friends, and we still connect, and we're still out there all the time. In different areas, and they're still mentoring me all over from a distance. So I was able to learn a lot from those guys over the years as well. But if you go to MikeFerry.com, there's some scripts there. But in the beginning stages, I did exactly that. We would have certain, accountability. We'd have accountability where you'd have to write your scripts out, 5 times a day for a certain script, and then fax those. At the time, email wasn't real big. We'd have to fax them over to our coach or our accountability partner. And, when you write it out, it's much different than just talking it out loud. So you're able to write it, see it, and then your brain looks at it, and then you repeat it out loud. So that was some of the things that we did. We had accountability to it. We had a lot of money on the line. Sometimes if you didn't do it, you'd be cashing checks. So there was a lot of
as a penalty
consequence to it. Yeah, it really was. And, but also I had recorded. I recorded my conversations. I recorded my presentations, gone back and listened to them, studied them. I still do that still today. If I, and I do that for the training purpose of my team as well. I'll get somebody on the call and I'll be recording it or whatever it may be, or I'll go on a listening appointment and say, I'm going to record this presentation right now. So I can go back and say, here's what I did wrong, here's what I did right. So it's just that part of the skill, I think, that I did over the years.
Now, what software would one use if they want to record their agents and themselves, telemarketing or calling or prospecting?
Yeah, so there's a thing that's called, I don't know the exact, it's just called a sound recorder that you can put on your computer that connect with your phone. There's a little widget thing here. It's called I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it's called a call recorder. As a matter of fact, that's what I record these podcasts on, so I can I can speak to that. Yeah, it works well.
It's so it's a little thing that connects to your phone and then into the computer, and then I can just press a button and it records it all the way through. And then as far as listing presentations, you can do it just on your iPhone as a voice memo thing the whole time if you want to just do it that way. I mean, back in the day, we used to do it on cassettes, connected to our phones and a middle cassette in between.
Yeah.
But that's a great way to learn what you're saying and hear yourself and then critique it and then send it to someone else and let them critique it.
That's awesome. So number one is knowing the language of sales, being a salesperson, a salesman, a saleswoman in your mind, going into this knowing that this is a sales job, because I think so many realtors go out there thinking that this is more of a consultant or a teacher or a psychologist type job, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's a sales job if you want to make $1 million net. So that's number one. So what's the second one?
Yeah, and just to add on that, Pat, here's what's so important. The buyer or the seller, they've hired you because they want their home sold or they want to buy a home, right? So they actually understand that we are salespeople. They're hiring you as a salesperson. And like you said, a lot of people are trying to get around the part where I'm a consultant, I'm a this, I'm a that. I don't know what their business card says. Look, I'm a straight up salesperson. That's what I am. When I show up to the people, you're hiring me here to get your home sold, right? Yes. Good. I'm going to sell it. That's what I do. I'm going to sell you on me, and then I'm going to sell you why you need to hire me, and that's it. So I think that the industry itself has to get away from that and understand I'm a salesperson first, I'm a salesperson second, I'm a salesperson third, I'm a salesperson fourth, and all said and done, if I do that, I make $1 million.
I love it. Okay, so what's the next chromosome that if we're going to build this great agent and clone him?
I think the next part is mindset. You got the skills, if you can really understand that. Second part is having the right mindset.
Okay, so talk to me about mindset, because it's kind of a buzzword, a cliche of sorts. What does that mean, and what does it look like in this person we're creating? Yeah, I mean, so, having the right mindset, understanding what it's going to take to have the right goals, the motivation, and being able to set the right mindset in motivation, what's important to you about that, right? So, anybody can have the right say, okay, I'm going to have a great mindset and that's all good, but really, why are you doing what you do? And it's kind of really dig in what's most important to you about it. And that comes in from having a great mindset. You might be focusing on the different call it equities of your life, right? What are those goals in my areas? And you have to say, okay, well, where am I at physically, mentally, spiritually, family, money, all those things, relationships, and having the right mindset. So when you come to work, understanding what it is that we need to do to get to the goals that we have in each of these type of categories. That would just be one side of the mindset, being able to be honest with yourself, understanding having the right mindset and where you're at within the skills, okay? Understanding how to eliminate negative thinking, because our minds are set up where
our mind will default to the negative, unfortunately.
Yes.
And in the world today, I mean, looking around the media, we don't hear about the 10,000 planes actually lifted off and landed okay. We hear one that crashed.
Right. Yeah, of course. I love that.
So it's important,
that's
I think,
a good statement.
it's important to have a great mindset because unfortunately the world's set up in such a way that's just defaulting to the negative. Okay.
Yeah. So how do you do
to have
that,
a good mindset? To have a good mindset in this real estate business, you got to learn how to remove the drama.
Okay. So part of that. So what we're trying to do is actually, I want people to listen to this over and over again and be like, okay, this is how I actually do and create each one of these chromosomes within me. So how do I create within me, or how does any listener create within them the mindset? What do they do?
Well, I think as far as, so let's think about a daily routine or daily ritual. To start off with the right mindset in the morning, think about getting up in the morning. First of all, your morning really should be starting the night before. So if you have a bad night before, or you're going to bed watching the plane crash, sometimes you might be waking up thinking the same thing which you went to bed with. So your mindset's screwed up from when you go to sleep, so it could be screwed up when you wake up. So clearing your mind, getting good there. So in the morning time, it's very, very important to start your day off. And what you can do is, have an environment in your home, review your goals, look at your dreams, write down things you're grateful for, things you want to attract for the day. These are all little things that I've done over the years and still continue to do. And that starts me off the right way. I become in the morning completely media-free. So I'm not watching the news. I'm not listening to the radio or talk radio or any kind of stuff that's going on. I'm feeding my mind with good inspirational either book or meditation or visualization, or obviously I listen to you on the interviews from these great guests you have on all the time. That starts me off in a great mindset. It carries me through the whole entire day. So that would be some of the things to start off in the morning.
Hey, Real Estate Rockstars listeners, I am sorry to interrupt again, but I want to do a quick commercial break. But this commercial break is different. This is stuff that I think you need, and this is me talking to you about some of the stuff that we had. So, recently we had a lot of people reach out to us and say, hey, why don't you do a real estate mastermind? Why don't you do something where a lot of the listeners can get together and do some Zoom calls and ask each other questions and really just try to brainstorm and work together? I mean, there's a million masterminds out there. I don't know if this is something that we really want to do or not, or if we do, if we're going to limit it to maybe 20 or 30 people. We're just trying to figure out if any of you guys are interested. So if you have any interest at all in joining a mastermind with real estate agents around the country that are part of the Real Estate Rockstars network, go to hibandigital.com/mastermind and just join the wait list. It's just it's just an interest list for us to see, is this something we want to be doing? So that's number one. Number two, you go to hibandigital.com/foreclosures. We have a 2-day thing that we just finished recording. Now it's also inside Rebus University. And so you can go to Rebus University and look at it. If you're already a member of Rebus, a lot of you guys are in the, the monthly fee where you get access to everything. So we have a new course in there. It's 17 hours of content on how to buy foreclosures, on how to find deals, on how to, do title, go to auction, also turn that into clients for your real estate agents, how you can turn somebody that's in default behind on their mortgages into a client. So go, check out that course, especially for, you can buy the course now, but again, most of you guys already subscribed to all that. I just wanted you to know there's another 17 hours of content, great content that I just recorded on there that all of you guys have access to now at Rebus University. And then finally, we have software that we talk about on and off. It's called Padhawk. And in Padhawk, you can use that to go find leads. Everyone is really, really busy right now. And we're so busy. People are selling and they're saying there isn't enough product on the market, right? So they can't find houses. Well, Padhawk will help you find houses before they're listed. It helps you find owners that should be listing their properties or people that might want to get there. I recorded a quick video. It's like 6 or 7 minutes long for you guys to look at, real estate agent specific, on how you can use the software in order to do it. So let's go to hibandigital.com/leads. Again, there's a video in there. I talk about how you can use the software to do it. Check it out. If it's something that you like, you may want to sign up for it. $99 a month, but it's nationwide, any city out there, and it is a great way to find houses. So right now, people are saying there's lots of buyers, but we can't find enough houses. Well, maybe you can use this software to go find somebody that hasn't listed yet and make them an offer on their house. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you for letting me interrupt you with that break.
Okay. So get it right through affirmations, through things that are positive, through self-help books, all that right. Start that off, right in the AM. And then you said get rid of the drama. So how dig into that a little deeper?
Well, here's the thing. When I say get rid of the drama, it comes in different ways. It also comes with who you're hanging around with or who you associate with. Because there's a lot of people we all know in life. There's certain personalities, certain people we hang out with that are more drama. I just choose these days to not hang out with them. I figured out for my mindset to be good, there's positive people, there's negative people, and then there's neutral people. And sometimes the negative people in your life could be some of the closest to you. You have to start identifying positive, negative, and neutral. And if you can do that, I only want to hang out with people that are going to be positive, really. That's the reality. And eliminating myself with those. Because a lot of times they bring a lot of drama, okay? So that's just part of the mindset of being a strong agent, in the real estate world, because there's a lot of drama, especially in the office. So you try to, I think, as far as one part, associate or be around people that are positive and get yourself away from that drama life. And then also, just always want to be expanding your mind. And what I mean by that is it's so critical to be able to think outside of the box, hanging out with people doing more than you at all times. And they say that, your income is a lot of times the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. So you start looking around, okay, what is my income and who do I hang around with most? Mm-hmm. And if you're hanging around people that are doing a lot less than you because maybe it makes you feel good or that's just people you grew up with or whatever, you got to start to think about, well, if I want to grow, I might have to be exposed or get out of my box a little bit and hang out with the people doing more than me.
That's awesome. So I would think that if we had to take this mindset molecule, this mindset pillar, whatever we're going to call it, and put an ABC with it. Obviously, the A would be, how you go to bed the night before, how you wake up the next morning, what you input, whether it's negative or positive in the morning and the night before or during the day. The second would be, the B would be the people that you surround yourself with, right? Yep. And the C would be the questions that you ask. Like I know Tony Robbins says a lot about, anything that happens to me says, what's good about this?
Right.
And there's always at least,
yep.
Yeah. There's always one or two things.
And being grateful for it.
Yeah. What can I be grateful for about this? Or what can I learn from this? Rather than why me? Why did this happen? So if you took those 3, that would pretty much sum it up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. That'll create a good mindset for you, and that will create success. You take that mindset, understanding the skills and what takes there, and now you're building what I think is a manufactured, very highly performance type of agent.
Okay, so what is that third puzzle piece? What is the third piece?
The third puzzle piece, I think, is just going to be just hard work. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about you show up, you do what you're supposed to do each day. You put the amount of time in that you need to. And, you just got to understand that it's going to take time. And it's going to take longer than you think. And it's going to take the daily grind of getting on the phone. And it's also going to take the hard work of failing, And what I mean by failing, it's okay because you're going to learn from that. But you've got to get up and understand it's going to be a grind. And if you make mistakes, it's okay. I tell my team every day, I want you to fail, but I want you to fail forward. I don't want you to not make mistakes. I don't want to have you a risk of not trying. I want you to try, and it's okay if you don't do it right because you're going to learn from that. So I think the third part of it is just understanding it's hard work. It takes time, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's it's so simple, but you're right. You're not, as a real estate agent, you're not going to succeed on a massive level without hustling your ass off. You know what I mean? And without having agents on your team that hustle their ass off and work hard.
Yeah, especially on a competition that's out there today. More and more agent license coming to the business. More and more agents are coming in, and it's just a very, very highly competitive business. But if you have the skills, you have the right mindset, and you're going to outwork your competition, you can make a ton of money in this business, a ton. And that's one of the things I always said about, what we've always done as a team and myself is, I will outwork any of them all day long. And my skill set's going to be better than most, or all of them. and my skills are going to be there, and my mindset's going to be great. And that's part of the success of the DNA, I think, that each agent today needs to have. It's going to take hard work.
That's amazing. It reminds me of a interview I saw with Will Smith, the actor, and now mainly he just directs, but I think it was with Larry King, and he was talking about what makes him succeed. And he said, listen, Larry, he said, I started out as a rapper and I wasn't that good. Right? I was a goofy looking rapper and we had some catchy tunes, but it was not musically good. He said, then I went to TV and I'm not that funny. There's a million comedians out there that are funnier than I am that didn't have their own TV show. Right. And then he said, and then I went into the movies and I played some cool parts in a movie. But at the end of the day, if you think about Will Smith, you don't think about this incredible actor like Daniel Day-Lewis or some of these guys that can transform themselves, with every part, like Johnny Depp did in that recent movie on Whitey Bulger. But my point is that he said, but the reason that I'm successful is that if you stand next to me on a treadmill, I will guarantee you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you will step off of that treadmill before I step off of the treadmill.
Yes.
He said, I'll outwork everybody in the Hollywood industry, and I have. And so that pretty much sums up that third piece, right, is just simply hard work, effort.
It is. And what's interesting, there's also a quote that one time I heard from someone, maybe Tony Robbins or someone, but part of this whole thing is you don't, you get paid in public for what you practice in private. And that's right. So Will Smith, they don't see him, what's happened on the treadmill all the time. They don't see that. All they see is the end result. They see where he shows up, right? But you get paid in public from what you practice in private. And so all of this is a practice. All of this, I think, we're talking about today is just going out there and doing it, but doing it, at a high level. And it's doing a lot of these little things a lot. So it's not just one thing, it's doing all of them, but doing them a lot. A little thing is doing a lot will add up to a lot.
This is great stuff, Jeff. So I can guarantee anyone listening, and I'm sure, and Jeff can too, that if you as a person or an agent make a decision to be a 10 out of 10 with salesmanship, his first piece, a 10 out of 10 with mindset, and a 10 out of 10, right, with straight up hard work, or you decide to fill your team with people that are committed to becoming, they don't necessarily have to be born this way, 10 out of 10, and all three of these, they're going to succeed, right, beyond belief.
Yep, exactly. And, one of the action steps I would have to consider is ideas, but ultimately, maintain a strong set or sales, one thing on that for 90 days straight. So if I'm going to be great at skills, I'm going to have the skill of a certain script, then work on that one script or two script, whatever it is, or that certain objection, whatever it is, for a good straight 30, 90 days, whatever it may be. Just do it until you get it just unbelievable, then go to the next one. And if your goal is to be, in the business for 5 years or 10 years, which I think most people are, they're going to say, do you plan to be here in 10 years? Great. So what if it takes you a year to get your scripts and your skills and your mindset so good? Just think about the payoff in the next 9 years.
Wow. This is incredible. I really think everybody listening this is one of the best we've done. And it's so simple, but it's so true, right? It is just so true that if all you did was focus on the three things that Jeff has come up with here, your DNA is going to transform into an agent that's netting $1 million or more. It doesn't matter, all the intricacies afterwards. It's the kind of, you need to become the person first before it can all happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. And what's interesting to become, about you saying that, become that person first, I would say that to create a stronger mindset, you got to spend less time comparing yourself to others and more time trying to attain what it is that you want and what it is that's in your plan, right? Because a lot of, I think, people today, mindset and everything else, they're always trying to compare themselves. Well, got to do that less and just do what's most important for you to be you, but then go out and be the best.
Absolutely. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on today. This has been a great call. I really appreciate it. And I will see you very soon.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me very much.
Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get, so please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hiban. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.